Hi guys, in this video I am going to show you how we can store our data in a custom plist file, and here we are using UIKit based application and the language is Swift. Now in our main storyboard I am going to just drag a text field that user can type something. Let's add some constraints, left, right, and I am going to add the top 20 and let's add the placeholder. Enter the email. Okay, now we need to add a button that allow user to save those email. Here we can add it. I'm going to name it save. Let's add some constraints to the button also. Top 12, left 12, right 12. Okay, now we need the table view that allows us to show those saved emails. We can add the table view. Okay, now I'm going to add constraints to this table view. We can set top as 12, left 12, right 12, and bottom we can say 0. Alright, now I'm going to add a reusable cell for that. We can say table view cell and drag that to here, because we are only going to show one string in that table view cell, which is the email. Okay, for the cell reusable ID we can click on this table view cell that we added, and here we can provide the reuse identifier. We can say cell for that. Now I am going to open corresponding view controller. I can click on this button and go to assistant, and it will open my related view controller, and we can create the reference to our save button click event. We can select the connection as action, and I am going to say the name for that as button save and the type as UI button. Now all the things when user click on this button will be happen in this function. Okay, save email, and also we need to create a reference to get the email that user typed. Connection should be outlet, and the name, let's say email text field. Okay, now I am checking user has entered a text in this field, so we can say if email text field dot text is equal to here no string available, then we are not going to do anything. So what we can do is just checking is not empty. Now we can do the save. Okay, now let's go ahead and open the view controller directly. Now let's see where the custom plist file will be created. For that I am going to create a new constant called path URL, okay, and set that equals to file manager dot default. This is the singleton that shared file manager object for the process, and we can say dot URLs. Here there are a lot of things. What we will do, just use this for and the in. So it will returns an array of URLs for the specified common directory in the requested domain. Okay, now for we are going to provide that as document directory. When you type document, you will see something like documentation directory. It is about something else. So, you have to select this document directory. Okay. Now, for the in, so you will say user domain marks dot use domain marks will be the user home directory. So, it is the place to install users personal items related to particular application, in this case our custom data app. Okay. Now, we can go ahead and take the first item of this, because this returns the array of URLs. We are going to take the first one. Now, after that we are going to say section symbol, because it could be optional, and we are going to say dot appending path component. So, here if before that let us say dot appending path component. So, it will returns a URL by appending the specified path component that conforms to a uniform type identifier. You are not going to conform to anything. Instead, we can delete that argument, and we are going to provide the file name only. Let us consider our file name will be data.plist. Of course, you can use whatever you like here for the file name, and now we can go ahead and print this path, and I will show you how to open that using our finder. Before going to save that, in the view did load we can create the print statement. It will print this path URL. Okay, let us run that. I will open that using iPhone 15 Pro. Okay, our app is running. Here we got the output. Now, the path is this unusers /Ashwini Shankar in the library. So, open your terminal. You can open that using the launchpad or command and space, and you can type cd. In the terminal, when you type cd, it will go to the root folder of your computer. When you type pwd, you can see current path is this root folder, which is my user account. Now, in that I have the library folder. By saying ls, here we got the library folder. In that we have this developer folder. So, what we can do is just go to this path directly, expect this data.plist file, because we want to see where is that file located. So, let us copy this path, also not include in the documents, and in the terminal you can say cd, and that path should be pasted in. It will be like this. Okay. Now, when you type ls, these are folders available in that folder, this one. So, I am going to open the current folder of this terminal using the finder. We can say open dot for that. Now, this is how to open that using the finder. Now, in the documents folder, here the data.plist file is not available. That because we haven't saved any data of that file. So, this will only predicting the file will be stored in this path, okay, in this path, but it does not mean the file is available there. So, what we can do, just going to save this email in that data.plist file. For that, I am going to create a new function. We can say func save email, okay, and I am going to create a encoder. Let encoder it's equals to property list encoder. All right. Also, now what we have to do, just create a new struct or class that have the information about the data model. We can say new file here. I am going to create a shift file, let us say emails. In this file we can go ahead and create the class. We can say class, and let us provide the file name as the class name also. Since we are going to do encoding, which is saving these data to our plist file, it have to do some conversion. So that is why we are doing encoding. So we have to conform to the protocol encodable. So a type that can encode itself to an external representation, here that is the definition for the encodable. So let us create the email will be a string, and the default value is just an empty string. Okay. For now we are going to save the email only. Now in the view controller, okay, now we are going to create a list that stores these emails. For that we can say var email list is equals to here array of emails. Okay. And the next step is when we click on this button save, we are going to append those input to this email list, and after that we are going to save this email list to our plist file, which is data.plist. So let us go ahead and do that. We can say email list dot append, and now we have provided a new element. For that we can create it. We can say let email item is equals to emails, and here we have to provide the email for that. Email item dot email is equals to this email text field dot text. Okay, now here unfortunately I made this to a constant, but it should be a variable. So error will go. Now we have to force unwrap that, because here we are checking it is not empty, and we can append that. Now email item will be append to email list. Alright, now we can go ahead and save this email list, this array, to data.plist file. Here in the save email function we created the encoder, and the next step is just go ahead and save it. We can say let data is equals to try. Now we are saying encoder dot encode. So it will returns a property list that represent an encoded version of the value you supply. So it will be stored in this data constant. Now we will encode our email list. We can say email list. So this could throw errors. Then we are going to surround that with do, and at the catch block here we can print the error, encoding error, and printing the specific error here. And after that we are going to do data dot write, and we have to provide the path, the URL that we created here. So it writes the content of the data buffer to a location. So let us provide this on path URL. We can force unwrap that, because we know if this file is not existing, it will be created. Okay, now this could throw errors. Then we are going to do try also. Then we can go ahead and call for save email. It will save this list in the data.plist. Let's go ahead and call for that when user click on button save. Let's run the app again. I'm going to say ashain@gmail.com. Before we are going to save that, we can check whether the file is existing or not. Here there are no files. Now instantly when we click on the save button, here the data.plist file is created. We can open that. In that plist file, here we got email as ashain@gmail.com. But if you carefully look at these items, here there is item 0 that not having any value, but the key. So the issue is here when I created this array, I added parentheses in the square brackets. Instead, here we have to say the type as emails, and after the square brackets I have to say parentheses. Okay. Now we can go ahead and delete this data.plist file and stop running, and let's run again. I can say the email as ashain@gmail.com, and let's save that. Let's open the plist file. Here everything is working. Now I am going to save another email. Let's say coffee programmer@gmail.com, and let's check the file. And we got coffee programmer@gmail.com. Now I need to read those data from the plist file and show those in my table view. For that, what I can do, go to the main storyboard, and now we have to create the reference for our outlet. Select in the table view, and let's drag that here by pressing Ctrl and dragging, and it will be the outlet named as table view emails. Okay. Now let's go to view controller, and in the view did load, what I can do, just go ahead and say table view emails dot delegate is self, and table view emails dot data source equals to self. Okay. Now I am going to create a new extension and name that as view controller, and this will conforms to UI table view delegate and UI table view data source. Okay. Now we can create necessary functions. We can say table view, and let's select cell for row at, and also we need table view did select row at, and also we need number of rows. We can say table view number of rows in sections. So number of rows will be count of this array. We can say email list dot count, and it will be returned. And also let's do did select row at thing later, and also cell for row at. For that we can say cell equals to table view dot dq reusable cell with the identifier. So the identifier is this identifier we provided for the table view cell. Let's say this one, this is it. In double quotes we can provide that, and the index path, let's provide the index path coming from here. Okay. Now we are going to set the title. We can say cell dot yeah, we are going to say let configuration is equals to cell dot default content configuration, and we are saying configuration dot text is equals to our list of emails. We can say email list, and we are grabbing the index path dot row and the email for that position. Okay. So we have to change let to var to make it mutable. Yeah, this one I think we have to make that a var, and the next step is just say cell dot content configuration is equals to configuration, and we are going to return cell. All right. The last thing we have to do is just fetch the data from our file. For that, let us go ahead and create a new function. I am going to say func load emails. Here we have to create data is equals to data, and we are getting content of. So we have to provide this URL, path URL. Okay, put exclamation symbol in order to say this is not optional, force unwrapping that. Now this could throw errors. In that case, we have to surround this with try, and we are going to safely get this using if let. Now if this success, we can work with this data, and we are going to say let decoder set that equals to property list decoder. Now it will create a new reusable property list decoder. Now we will create do statement, and inside that we are going to say our email list is equals to the data coming from our plist file. For that we can say try decoder dot decode. So it will returns a value of a specified type by decoding a property list using the default property list format. Now the type, we have to provide the type these emails, okay, and we can say dot self to get the type. All right. Now a issue will come here. If you go to the model, we have to conform to the protocol called decodable. So it is a type that can decode itself from external representation. But in Swift, there is a protocol called codable, that is a type that convert itself into an out of an external representation. That means it combines decodable and encodable protocols. All right. Now we can say data, which is this data. Finally, we have to add the catch block. That we can say print. We can output error decoding email array. We can show the error also. All right. Finally, after load email, we can call for reload the table view. Here in the view did load, we had to call for load emails, and also here when user save the email, we have to call for load emails. All right. One thing to note here in the view did load, I am setting table view delegate to self and data source to self before loading emails to the array. So it will not show any data, but what we can do, just call to load emails before we are setting delegate is equal to self and data source equals to self. Okay, let's run the application. Now we are seeing our email saved on our plist file, data.plist. I am going to save another one. I can say ishankar@gmail.com. Okay, we can see that. Also, when this saved, we can clear the text field. We can say email text field dot text is equals to double quotes. Alright, I am going to save this one. Now it's okay. Alright, I will include this complete project in the video description. You can go ahead and download and reuse it. I hope this video helps. If this video helps, please subscribe. Thank you.